Welcome back to 5 Minutes Learning, where we dive deep into fascinating business case studies to help MBA students master real-world business strategies. Today, we're diving into one of the most intriguing case studies in recent business history, KFC UK. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Imagine this. One of the world's biggest fast food chains ran out of chicken. Yes, you heard that right. So, how did a logistics failure shut down hundreds of KFC restaurants across the UK? Let's break it down. In February 2018, KFC UK experienced a crisis that shocked not just the fast food industry but the entire business world. KFC, known for its chicken, had to temporarily shut down most of its 900 outlets because they had no chicken. You might ask, how does this happen to such a giant in the food industry? Well, it's all about logistics gone wrong. And today, we'll discuss how this chicken shortage unfolded, and, more importantly, what lessons can be learned from it. This case is still relevant because it shows how crucial supply chain management is, especially when switching vendors. In a time when businesses are increasingly outsourcing operations, understanding how to manage transitions smoothly is vital for MBA students who will be the future business leaders. Let's quickly recap. KFC is a global fast food chain specializing in fried chicken, with over 900 outlets in the UK alone. Everything was going well until February 2018 when KFC switched its chicken delivery from Bidvest Logistics, a specialized food distributor, to a new partnership with DHL and QSL. Here's where the trouble began. DHL had no prior experience in chilled food logistics, and KFC's chicken supply chain was highly specialized. The results? Delivery delays, missed orders, and eventually, no chicken in many stores. The problem began when KFC's new logistics partner, DHL, decided to operate from a single depot in Rugby, UK. Previously, Bidvest used 6 warehouses, ensuring quick and smooth deliveries. With only one warehouse and a sudden traffic jam near the depot, the supply chain collapsed. Chickens were available, but they couldn't be delivered to the restaurants. Imagine you have an e-commerce business and you switch delivery services. Suddenly, your new partner can only ship from one location, and if something goes wrong, like a roadblock, your whole operation halts. That's exactly what happened with KFC. 3 weeks into the crisis, KFC decided to bring back Bidvest Logistics to cover a part of their supply chain. And by 2019, they terminated the deal with DHL altogether, fully reinstating Bidvest. This decision was crucial because it highlighted the importance of using an expert in food distribution, particularly when it comes to fresh, time-sensitive products like chicken. Now, let's relate this to a more current situation. Remember how some retailers like Walmart and Target faced massive inventory shortages during the COVID-19 pandemic? Similar to KFC's crisis, many of these companies had supply chain breakdowns due to over-reliance on single-source suppliers and poor contingency planning. In both cases, businesses learned the hard way that having a robust, multi-layered supply chain is essential to prevent such disruptions. Key insights. Business strategies from the KFC crisis. So, what can MBA students take away from this? Here are the key business strategies KFC used during the crisis, which are highly relevant to modern-day business challenges. KFC learned that switching to a logistics provider with no experience in chilled food distribution was a costly mistake. Always make sure that your partners are experts in their field. Supply chain transitions are risky. KFC had no backup plan when the Rugby warehouse faced delays. As future business leaders, you must plan for the unexpected. Even during the crisis, KFC used humor in their public communications. Their famous ad, "The chicken crossed the road, just not to our restaurants," softened the blow and maintained some customer loyalty. This shows that, while you manage internal issues, communicating effectively with your customers can help control the narrative. KFC UK's chicken shortage crisis is a perfect example of how a seemingly small change in supply chain management can lead to disastrous results. But it's also a great learning moment for MBA students. Whether you're working in logistics, management, or marketing, the lessons here are clear. Always rely on expert partners, have a contingency plan in place, and never underestimate the power of communication. Stay tuned. We are going to explore deeper into the gripping story of KFC's chicken crisis, a supply chain disaster that unfolded in the UK back in 2018. Background and context. To understand the crisis, let's first take a step back and get to know a bit more about KFC. KFC, or Kentucky Fried Chicken, is one of the most famous fast food chains in the world, founded by Colonel Harlan Sanders in 1930. It started in North Kentucky and was initially known for its signature fried chicken recipe. The company later franchised in Salt Lake City, Utah, in 1952, and the rest, as they say, is history. Today, it is the second largest fast food company globally after McDonald's, with over 23,000 locations in 136 countries. But let's fast forward to February 2018, when a major crisis hit KFC in the UK. In February 2018, KFC decided to make a bold change. They switched their UK chicken delivery operations from Bidvest, a company with significant experience in delivering fresh food, to DHL, a logistics giant known for shipping packages but not necessarily food. This change looked promising on paper, but the reality was quite different. DHL was not fully prepared for the specialized nature of delivering fresh, chilled chicken. They had only one depot in Rugby, which created a major bottleneck in the supply chain. As a result, KFC's restaurants started to experience severe delays in chicken deliveries, leading to mass closures across the UK. Just imagine, one of the world's biggest fast food chains running out of its core product, fried chicken. Things went from bad to worse when a series of unfortunate events further disrupted the supply chain. A traffic collision on the M6, close to DHL's warehouse, made it impossible for delivery trucks to get out. With only one depot and no alternative warehouses, the backlog grew fast, and chicken started going to waste. By February 17, 562 KFC outlets were closed, and the number only increased. Social media exploded, with customers venting their frustration. Some even called the police to report KFC's lack of chicken. KFC tried to handle the situation with humor, saying, "The chicken crossed the road, just not to our restaurants." But behind the scenes, this was no laughing matter. KFC was in crisis mode. Challenges faced by KFC. This wasn't just about delivering chicken. The real challenge for KFC was dealing with the public relations fallout. Loyal customers were upset, and many started switching to competitors like McDonald's and Burger King. On social media, KFC was ridiculed, with people asking, "How can Kentucky Fried Chicken run out of chicken?" Even comedians jumped in. One famous comedian, Ori Styla, tweeted, "How can you be out of the one thing you are known for selling?" The situation was so bad that police had to issue a statement asking people to stop calling emergency services about KFC's chicken shortage. Can you imagine? A chicken crisis so severe that it became a police matter. Key learnings. Today, we are analyzing the famous, Great KFC Chicken Crisis of 2018. What went wrong? How did a fast food giant like KFC run out of chicken in hundreds of outlets across the UK? And what lessons can we learn about supply chain management, customer expectations, and franchise operations? We'll explore 5 key topics that are crucial to understanding this case study. Let's get started. 1. Understanding the supply chain and the importance of supplier relationships. KFC's chicken shortage can largely be traced back to problems within their supply chain. The fast food chain had been working with Bidvest, a South African-owned distributor that had been reliably handling deliveries for KFC's UK restaurants. However, in early 2018, KFC decided to switch to DHL, a logistics company with less experience in food distribution. Now, why is this important? The supply chain is the backbone of any business, especially in the food industry, where fresh products need to be delivered quickly. The case of KFC shows us that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. This is where Porter's 5 forces come in. By examining the supplier bargaining power, we can see that DHL lacked the specialized infrastructure and experience to manage this supply chain efficiently, which led to delays and food wastage. An ethical issue also arises here. Because of the logistical failures, large quantities of chicken went to waste. MBA students should consider supply chain ethics and the potential business risks that come from food waste. 2. Why physical location is significant. Another interesting aspect of the crisis is the location of DHL's depot. DHL placed its only depot in the so-called Golden Rectangle, between Rugby, Daventry, and Northampton. This area is known for being strategically positioned to deliver goods overnight anywhere in the UK. However, in KFC's case, the decision to have just one depot backfired. When a traffic accident occurred near Rugby, delivery trucks were stuck, and with no backup locations, the entire supply chain ground to a halt. This shows us that while physical location is important, relying on a single hub can expose a business to significant risks if something goes wrong. 3. Understanding customer needs and expectations, and handling public relations. During the crisis, customers were understandably upset. In fact, some were so loyal to KFC that they called the police to report the closure of their favorite restaurant. This loyalty highlights how strong KFC's brand is. But it also shows that when a brand doesn't meet customer expectations, the backlash can be severe. KFC handled this public relations disaster with humor, which worked in their favor. They created a website that listed the locations still open and used daily social media updates to reassure customers. A famous example is their ad featuring a chicken bucket rebranded with the letters FCK, a bold way to acknowledge their mistake and show they were working on a fix. 4. Impact on franchisees. One less obvious but important impact of this crisis was on KFC's franchisees. As part of a franchise model, KFC franchisees rely heavily on the franchisor to supply core ingredients like chicken. During the crisis, franchisees were left without the ability to source chicken independently, which meant their businesses came to a standstill. This raises questions about the balance of power in franchise agreements. Franchisees often don't have the independence to adapt to supply chain issues, which can severely impact their operations. 5. The importance of planning. Finally, let's talk about planning. In the fast food industry, where demand is constant and customers expect fast service, there's little room for error. KFC's crisis shows us the importance of scenario planning and risk management. MBA students can use this case to consider what KFC could have done differently. For example, a more comprehensive risk assessment might have revealed the risks of switching to a new supplier without adequate preparation. Multiple depots or backup suppliers could have mitigated the problem. The Great KFC Chicken Crisis of 2018 is a perfect example of how poor supply chain management and planning can disrupt even the biggest brands. From supply chain ethics to public relations and franchise operations, this case study offers valuable lessons for MBA students and business leaders alike. Solutions and communication tactics. Now that we are at the end of this video, we'll see the key takeaways on crisis management, PR strategies, and how businesses can turn adversity into opportunity. So, let's dive right in. 1. Reconnecting with Bidvest. Returning to reliable supply chains. After the disastrous switch to DHL for chicken deliveries in early 2018, KFC made the critical decision to return to its former supplier, Bidvest, by March of the same year. The initial switch had resulted in mass shortages across hundreds of KFC locations in the UK, leaving the fast food giant without its most crucial ingredient, chicken. But KFC's return to Bidvest shows us a valuable lesson. When a new strategy backfires, it's important to act quickly and decisively. By returning to a trusted supplier, KFC was able to stabilize its supply chain and start delivering fresh chicken to its restaurants once again. 2. Full-page apology ads. Owning the mistake. One of KFC's most iconic responses to the crisis was their bold, full-page apology in several UK newspapers. Working with their marketing agency Mother London, KFC took out ads featuring a rearranged version of their logo that read, FCK, instead of KFC, a clever and humorous way to say, "We messed up." The text accompanying the ad read, "We're sorry. A chicken restaurant without any chicken. It's not ideal. Thank you for bearing with us." This was a creative yet sincere way to acknowledge the problem, apologize, and ensure customers that they were working to fix the issue. 3. Social media crisis management, engaging with customers on Twitter. During the crisis, social media was buzzing with complaints from KFC's loyal customers. Instead of going silent, KFC took to Twitter, using hashtag KFC Crisis to communicate with customers and control the narrative. Their tweets were both lighthearted and reassuring, aiming to diffuse customer frustration. One of their most memorable tweets humorously explained the situation. "We've got the chicken, we've got the restaurants, but we've just had issues getting them together." They also posted a fun graphic referencing the classic nursery rhyme, with a twist. "The chicken crossed the road, just not to our restaurants." This approach helped KFC manage the backlash and show that they were addressing the issue while maintaining their brand's playful personality. 4. Recognizing franchisees and staff efforts. A public thank you. In addition to their public apology, KFC took the time to thank their franchise partners and staff for their hard work during the crisis. The company acknowledged the strain the chicken shortage had placed on franchisees, who were struggling without chicken to sell, and praised employees for their tireless efforts to resolve the situation. This gesture was well received by both the public and KFC's own team members. It showed that KFC wasn't just focused on customers, they also valued and supported their internal stakeholders during the crisis. 5. PR success, turning a crisis into a marketing win. Despite the chaos of the chicken shortage, KFC's response was so successful that some people even speculated it might have been a publicity stunt. Thanks to their witty ads, social media engagement, and transparent communication, KFC was able to maintain, and even improve, their brand image. Sales started to stabilize shortly after the crisis, and KFC won praise from both consumers and PR specialists in the UK and the US. This is a testament to how powerful good crisis management can be. So, what can we learn from the great KFC chicken crisis? It shows us the importance of a reliable supply chain, quick decision-making, and strong communication tactics. Whether it's through full-page ads, engaging social media posts, or public recognition of your team, how a company responds in a crisis can make all the difference in recovering and maintaining brand loyalty. What do you think? Could KFC have handled things differently? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more business case studies right here on 5 Minutes Learning.